right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A wanted felon is dead after a shootout with police. How Illinois State Police say he died.
In weather tonight, we're talking about the Cardinals and how the Memorial Day weekend will wrap up.
Plus, pressing pause on pool season.
I wouldn't let them go over there because it's nasty.
Why one public pool won't open on Memorial Day.
Developing tonight at 10, a man is dead after a traffic stop went wrong. Thanks for being here. I'm Mark Maxwell. Mike Bush has the night off. It started on a busy highway in O'Fallon, Illinois, just before noon today. The shooting closed Highway 50 for several hours this afternoon. The road is now open, and 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski is live there tonight. She spoke with people who live and work nearby. Laura?
I did, Mark. I actually talked to employees who work in this shopping center right next to where this traffic stop went wrong. They weren't allowed to talk to me on camera, but they said they were frightened, and residents were too, saying this was actually an unusual place for this to happen. Just before 11:45 Sunday morning, O'Fallon and Fairview Heights police say they tried to stop this vehicle on Highway 50, wanted in connection to a felony being investigated by St. Louis police. After the driver stopped, they say he jumped out of the SUV with a gun, shot at the officers, and took off running. Officers fired back and went after him for about 100 yards, where they say the man stopped and shot himself in the head. Marsha Gibbs lives just feet from the scene.
Yeah, I heard sirens, and first couple of sirens went by, and I didn't think much of it, but after about the third, fourth siren, I came out and looked, and a couple more went by. Total altogether of 7 police cars and then 2 ambulances.
She says this all happened where the two towns meet.
The city line is like Old Collinsville Road. Anything on the west side is Fairview Heights, and on the east side of Old Collinsville Road is O'Fallon.
Gibbs says she had no idea there had been a shootout.
No, I didn't hear any gunshots at all. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw them all over on that side of the street and this side of the street, and apparently a Fairview police were down there too, but I couldn't see them coming.
Illinois State Police took over the investigation, saying the suspect was airlifted to a regional hospital and died. No officers were hurt.
No, it's pretty quiet around here. Other than regular street traffic, stuff like that just doesn't happen in this area.
Police have not released any details about the driver or his identity. And usually after this type of incident, the police officers involved will typically go on administrative leave, but Illinois State Police did not share those details with us. Reporting live from O'Fallon, Laura Barcheski, 5 on Your Side.
Laura, thanks. Developing in St. Louis, police are looking into a shooting that left one man dead in North St. Louis. That shooting happening near North Broadway and Fremont just before 10 o'clock last night. That's where police say 23-year-old Tyler Robinson arrived at the hospital with gunshot wounds, where he later died. Police are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers to leave an anonymous tip. That phone number, 866-371-TIPS. Also developing right now, police are still working to identify a man who was found dead in the Mississippi River last night. Shortly after 5:30 yesterday, officers discovered the man's body face down in the water. Medical examiners found no signs of trauma. The medical examiner's office is handling the investigation. One public pool in St. Louis will not open during Memorial Day weekend. City officials are still repairing the Fairgrounds Park pool after vandals hit it 2 weeks ago. 5 on Your Side's Elise Schoenig joins me in studio. And Elise, you visited that pool today. What'd you see?
Well, Mark, the pool was missing its 2 main essentials, water and people. That's because some contractors are working to make some repairs right now. We did still find lots of people at the fairground park surrounding the pool, making their own Memorial Day fun. And we learned a thing or two about this pool's history in St. Louis. A usually booming holiday weekend was eerily quiet at one city pool.
I wouldn't let them go over there because it's nasty.
Nearby resident and parent Paul Clige has his own thoughts on the Fairgrounds Park pool.
I don't let them go on the court or nothing, just stay in this area.
City officials say the metal in the pool's plumbing, filtration, sinks, and more had been stripped. Unlike every other city pool, this one won't open for the Memorial holiday weekend.
Yeah, we just like to fish and have a little family time, do little picnics.
Clige says he and his family enjoy a different kind of fun in the sun.
I love to kick it with my girl and my kids. And pretty much that's it. We buy the water.
But this pool has a dark history. In June 1949, Fairgrounds Park Pool was integrated. But Life magazine reports when 30 to 40 black kids showed up to the pool, thousands of white people in St. Louis showed up to riot,
400 police officers, and 12 hours later, this became St. Louis's first race riot. Today, Clijay's family avoids the pool altogether. So while this neighborhood pool may not reopen this weekend, he says he and his family are doing just fine.
If it ain't about this, then I ain't gonna be by it.
A city spokesperson says contractors have already started repairs to get the facility back up and running. All other city pools will be open for this holiday weekend.
Elise, thanks. Another pool in the area will not open this Memorial Day. Heman Pool in University City will remain closed. The pool was damaged in last July's historic floods. Repairs to the electrical system are underway and workers are installing new pool pumps. The goal is to open that facility this summer, but leaders want to make sure it's safe before they do. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as we have them. These pool closures come at a time when other pools face lifeguard shortages. Across the country, pools are struggling to hire lifeguards, causing closures or reduced hours for some. More than half the public pools around the country have faced shutdowns or reduced hours because of lifeguard shortages. If you're interested in working as a lifeguard, we have information on how you can apply up on our website, ksdk.com. Let's take a live look downtown. It's been a beautiful weekend across the region and Memorial Day temperatures are looking promising. Let's head over to meteorologist Tracy Hinson with a look at our weather first forecast. Tracy?
All righty, Mark. And it has just been such a nice Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people I've talked to have said they can't remember one that hasn't been interrupted by storms in some fashion. It's not even that hot outside and the humidity is low. It's kind of rare for us out here. 71 degrees is what it feels like outside. Our humidity is close to 40%. And remember, humidity does typically go up overnight. During the day, though, we've had it at around 20%, so very nice. It'll be a quiet night tonight. 59 degrees, winds out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's going to be mostly clear out there. Then we're going to transition from a mostly clear night to a mostly sunny day tomorrow and a little bit warmer. If you thought the low 80s and upper 70s were a little too cold to get in the water, well, I think tomorrow's your day. 86 degrees for us, winds out of the northeast at just 5 miles per hour. Our sunrise is almost rudely early these days. It comes up at about 5:40 now. Coming up, I'll outline your Cardinals forecast for their Monday game.
Today, Catholic parishioners across the area have a better idea what the future of their church will look like. The Archdiocese of St. Louis announced its All Things New restructuring plan last night. The final decision will consolidate 178 individual parishes into 134 various parish models. 5 on Your Side visited the St. Cecilia Catholic Church in South City this morning. The predominantly Hispanic parish will remain open under this new plan. Parishioners there say this is great for both the church and the community.
It gives hope, as Father Tim says, to the people around this neighborhood, not only to the Spanish-speaking people, but to everyone that is looking for hope.
Changes will start to take shape as early as August and will continue through 2026. The plan does not say how Catholic schools might be affected. Tonight, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are finalizing the language used in what they're calling a tentative deal to raise the nation's debt ceiling. The president and Speaker McCarthy reaching that tentative agreement last night. It would prevent the nation from defaulting on its debts. In a tweet, President Biden says the deal represents a compromise to reduce spending while also protecting critical programs for working people. McCarthy touted the proposal as a victory for Republicans, even if it didn't include everything they wanted.
So I think people will look back and say, oh, I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but there's something in here that it shouldn't be about you, it should be about America. America believes that we've spent too much, so this spends less.
Members of Congress are expected to vote on that bill on Wednesday.
These people that are here gave their lives.
Honoring the fallen, how the next generation paid respects to the greatest generation of American heroes.
In just a few minutes, I'll go over when humidity will return.
And which bottle of sunscreen has the best bang for your buck. Our Consumer Report takes a closer look at the fine print and puts the lotions to the test.
Today, thousands of Boy Scouts spent their morning paying respects to fallen service members. These young people placed more than 200,000 flags on the grave sites at the Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery in honor of Memorial Day. It began with a flag presentation, followed by a guest speaker and the playing of taps and Amazing Grace on bagpipes. It's an annual observation that leaders say remind Boy Scouts just how important Memorial Day is.
It's a good opportunity to let them have a chance to know that these people that are here gave their lives so that they have an opportunity to do the things that they are doing now. It also teaches them citizenship, community, and gives them those skills that they're going to need as they start getting older.
Area Boy Scouts have been honoring veterans at Jefferson Barracks now for 74 years. And Union Station is celebrating Memorial Day this weekend with special offers for military veterans and active duty members. All military personnel will receive a discount at any of the Union Station attractions. Military members can ride the St. Louis Wheel for free this weekend. The Animals Are Us petting zoo kicked off today and will open again tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 5. And right now, you can help the families of fallen or wounded service members and first responders in the Folds of Honor campaign. Now through May 30th, you can round up at the register or use Scan to Give coupons at any area Schnucks store. 5 on Your Side is a proud sponsor of the campaign. The Greek Festival is happening in St. Louis County this weekend. It's the first time the festival is back in person in 3 years. All weekend, people are enjoying delicious Greek food and drinks at the Assumption Greek Orthodox Church in Town and Country. Part of the festival proceeds are going to a great cause. The Greek Festival partners with Focus Gateway City.
And then part of our festival will also go to Focus. That's the group that we work with. We go down there, we cook to feed the homeless, and it's a wonderful, wonderful organization.
They're back tomorrow, the Greek Festival back on from 11 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. The city of St. Charles was celebrating Irish culture this weekend. The Missouri River Irish Festival wrapping up a few moments ago along the riverfront. Families got to enjoy Irish food while dancing along to Irish music. From lotions to sprays to sport and reef safe, the sunscreen aisle can feature a dizzying array of confusing labels. Bottom line, you want one that works when summer's sun is at its hottest. Consumer Reports tests dozens of varieties each year to reveal the best options that won't burn your skin or a hole in your wallet.
Sunscreen, that magic elixir that protects against skin cancer and premature aging. And the best part, it's easy to find and inexpensive. But with so many choices, how do you know which one to choose?
We test sunscreens to see how well they protect against 2 types of the sun's rays, UVA and UVB, which cause aging, skin cancer, and sunburn.
To test for SPF, the sun protection factor, and a measure of how well a sunscreen protects against UVB rays, expert testers apply sunscreen onto panelists' backs before they soak in a tub for 40 to 80 minutes, depending on the sunscreen's water resistance claim. The area is then exposed to simulated sunlight. The next day, trained experts examine the area for redness. To test for protection against UVA rays, testers apply sunscreen on plastic plates, expose them to UV light, and then measure the amount of rays that are absorbed. A top-performing sunscreen with a perfect score that's also a CR Smart Buy, Coppertone Water Babies Lotion SPF 50. But don't let the name throw you off. It's not only for babies.
All of our top-rated sunscreens contain chemical active ingredients. In our tests over the years, we found that mineral sunscreens don't protect as well.
If you do prefer a mineral or natural sunscreen, CR's test found California Kids Super Sensitive Tinted Lotion SPF 30+ provided acceptable protection. As important as the sunscreen you choose is how you apply it. For lotion, use a teaspoon per body part or area that's not covered up with clothing. If you're using a spray, hold the nozzle about 1 inch from your skin and spray until your skin glistens, then rub it in. And for all types of sunscreens, reapply every 2 hours and after swimming.
And parents watching, Consumer Reports recommends you choose a lotion sunscreen for kids and only use the spray as a last resort because kids might inhale that spray, which can irritate your lungs. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Tracy Hinson with the Weather First forecast. Tracy, how are things looking?
Oh man, watching that kid on Consumer Reports being held down and that sunscreen being put on her against her will, that brings back memories.
I bet.
My parents would have to tackle my sister and I to get that sunscreen on. Whew, not fun. Okay, 82 degrees was our high temperature today, pretty close to average. That was 81. Average low for us is about 62, and we hit 60 today, so close enough. As far as our year departure for rainfall, we are quite behind. That's no surprise. Most of the St. Louis metro area and beyond is under some form of a drought monitor rating right now. The view over our city, it's a nice quiet night out there. It's mostly clear. Temperature-wise, it's not bad either if you're staying up late. 64 degrees in St. Charles, 64 for Scott Air Force Base, 61 for my friends in Farmington. Okay, for tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-80s, a good mix of sun and clouds, a little bit more in the way of cloud cover than we've seen the past few days, but that'll be nice. It adds a little bit more to look at when you look up. Okay, let's go over our air quality, because today it was at unhealthy for sensitive groups, and tomorrow we're expecting it to be the same. So if you have asthma or any other lung condition, you might find that once you're outside for a little prolonged period of time, that your lungs might get a little bit inflamed from that, so you might feel that tomorrow. Mosquitoes, let's talk about those too. Medium tomorrow for us, just because we have cool nights, mainly dry conditions, that keeps them at bay for the most part. If you're looking for a nice night with no mosquitoes, you actually want a bit more of a breeze than what we're going to have. Tomorrow, you want winds over 10 miles per hour, because then the mosquitoes are grounded. They can't really fly from that. But the light breeze, that'll keep it at medium instead of low, which is what we would normally have. Cardinals are playing tomorrow. They're taking on the Royals, 1:15, and we're showing off some great weather here in the bi-state region. 85 degrees by 3 p.m. Winds out of the east around 8 miles per hour, 86 by 5 o'clock. Okay, and let's talk about humidity, just because it is on the rise. Our dew points have been nice and low, which just means that the humidity has been pretty comfortable. So tomorrow, I still expect it to be comfortable. Tuesday, it's going to start to edge up more to that humid note, so that's something we will certainly be feeling. And then by Wednesday, it's back to sort of status quo for us, which is just a little bit humid, which adds about 3 to 5 degrees to any of these temperatures on the board, which isn't so bad when we're in the 80s, but when we're going to be up in the 90s, we're certainly going to feel it. So 93 on Saturday and Sunday, well, we know the drill. It's going to feel more like 98, so that can be a little brutal for us. Early morning and overnights, at least we do get a little bit of a cool down the next couple of nights. Then once we're into those low 90s with humidity, low 70s, we're only going to hit that for a few hours in the morning. So we're back to hot, humid conditions. Get ready for those air conditioners to blast 24 hours a day.
It's looking like a great week, though, Tracy. Thanks.
Pretty nice.
All right. Well, no one likes allergies, but could your family history be partly to blame? Our Verified team looks into that. And before we go to break, we want to remind you that right now you can register for the More Than Pink Walk in Tower Grove Park on June 10. So grab your colleagues, friends, and family. That walk is a way for the community to come together to support those fighting for breast cancer. Our very own Kate Quinn will be the MC. Register now by texting the word Komen to 314-425-5355. As pesky as seasonal allergies can be, somebody must be to blame. Is it possible that they're hereditary? Our Verified team's Megan Bragg looks into where those allergies come from.
We can pin responsibilities on our parents for a lot of things, but can we blame them for our sneezing, wheezing, and allergic reactions? The question, are your allergies largely inherited? Let's verify.
Our source is Dr. Alec Gupta, allergist with Atrium Health, the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, and the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic explains when you have allergies, what's happening is this. Your immune system makes antibodies that identify an allergen as harmful when it isn't. Your immune system then reacts, activating inflammation of the skin, sinuses, airways, or digestive system.
And those allergies are often passed down from parents to children, according to the American College of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology.
Food allergies, seasonal allergies, asthma, some forms of asthma, eczema, they all fall under this kind of category. If your parents had one of those things, then yeah, the risk is that your child could be more genetically susceptible to developing one of those other things.
Dr. Gupta says the risk of having an allergy increases when one or both parents have one. However, that doesn't mean their children will have the exact same allergy.
even if both parents had the shrimp allergy, doesn't necessarily mean that you're at a higher risk of having a shrimp allergy. You could have a higher risk of having eczema.
Dr. Gupta says it also doesn't mean these inherited allergies will always show up.
Or if your parents had that genetic, not necessarily dysfunction, but just kind of change, then you have that genetic change. It doesn't always show up.
So we can verify that yes, susceptibility to allergies is largely inherited. However, that doesn't mean you will display the exact same allergic reactions as your parents do. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
There's not much we won't verify, so if you'd like us to verify something, send us an email at verify@ksdk.com. And it inspired Beyonce's latest album, the new type of party becoming increasingly popular in our area. Tonight, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority celebrates 39 years of presenting outstanding young people in the community with a scholarship cotillion. High school upperclassmen were honored at tonight's event. Our very own Travis Cummings was the MC. These bright young people were honored for their service to the community and high scholastic achievements. A different kind of ballroom culture is gaining notoriety across St. Louis. It's a bit different than 19th century dance with classical music. This type of party inspired Beyonce's Renaissance album. We got a closer look at this cultural phenomenon during a pre-Pride celebration called The Best Ball Ever Friday night. Organizers say these events bring people together from all walks of life.
It helps people learn to tolerate each other, to get along with each other, and so it's a beautiful space.
A similar event is happening at Handlebar in Lake June. It's called the Wonderland Pride Mixer, taking place on June 22nd. And there you have it. Have a good night and a great week. 5 on your side at 10. Start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 in the morning. Now, here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.